This is Governor Lieutenant Vashon. There is an enemy fleet coming out of the gate. There are informations and we can't hold them up for long. Anyone who receives this should fall back to the Citadel Ordinaris immediately. Emperor, save us!
And greetings all, how is everybody? And there was silence. Okay, so I'm probably going to start an open panel here in a little bit, so some of you folks can pop in. Yes, I am very left ear. It's the way I have the audio balanced out. So when you get folks in on meets, they come in on the right. Plus, I'm on the left side of the screen. But so I've come to realize that I am raising a monster. Yeah. So some of you know, I rescued a kitten here about 6 months back. And he's getting big. Did some measurements today. He is 10 inches at the shoulder. Yeah, 10 inches at the shoulder, and he's only 6 months old. He's also 3 feet long from tip to tip. So he's going to be a very, very big boy. I'm kind of scared. I might not be able to fit him on my bridge in 6 more months. Now, the only thing that he's missing so far is, looking like a Mancoon, is he's missing the tufts on the end of his ears. But he does have that double layer fur. So he has that nice thick outer coat. And then if you dig down deep, you get this nice, fluffy, short hair coat underneath. So if the AC goes out this summer, it's going to suck to be him. But come wintertime, he'll probably be the cat that wants to go play in the snow. Yeah, Commander. Yeah, he probably is very good portion Mancoon from what I'm seeing. And the funny thing is as big as he's getting, he has this squeaky little Mike Tyson voice. It is so funny. So funny. So, folks, Would anybody like to pop in? Because if so, I'll drop the link in chat. And I'll give it a second for chat to catch up. But yeah, so I really don't have much of anything planned. Do have a couple things. No, M2M. I'm biased left, and any guests that come in will be biased to the right. So there's stereo separation for the live stream. In fact, M2M, why don't you hop in? I'm going to drop the link. There we go, folks. So yeah, just a couple random different things. Found a couple pretty cool toys, actually. Pretty cool, interesting things online. So let's hope I have window capture set up. Nope, wrong one. We don't want that one. We want this. Yes. So I did measure my cat. And yeah, he's kind of scary big. But the good news is that he's going in to get, well, not necessarily good news for him, is he's going to get his blood work done tomorrow so that he can get snipped. Having had Maine Coons in the past, I know that they like to mark everything. So we're going to take care of that. Now, one of the cool things that I came across here recently was this. Oh my God, the amazing things you can do with a PlayStation. Jeez. So this is an article that goes back on a private page. This goes back a couple of years. And it is how to measure Earth's rotation using a PlayStation Move and a turntable. It's actually kind of cool. So it goes through the overview, the gyroscopes. It goes into detail about the gyroscopes in the device and how to set everything up, and what needs to be done, how you need to set it up, how you need to monitor the data. And surprisingly, as you go through this, it actually goes through on how to cancel out some of the noise that you get from the sensor and such. And that's very interesting. Yeah, Flurse will claim turntables are NASA tech. Because, hey, everything's NASA tech if it disproves their claims. And it's actually a pretty interesting setup. If I had a PlayStation Move, I would probably try to do it. But I don't have a PlayStation Move, so I won't. But it gets really interesting. It gets into if the gyroscope isn't properly aligned, how you get errors, and then once you get it, nailed down and get it dialed in. I mean, this one right here, that is amazing. Just more amazing, cool shit that you can do with console hardware. And also released a video on this. And we will go full screen. And this is the setup. It's a pretty basic setup. I mean, God, looking at that laptop's probably older than some of the people in chat. But yeah, that's actually a fairly easy looking setup. If I had a turntable, I could probably set something like this up. Oh, looks like we have somebody coming in. Hold on a second. Let's see who wants in. Hey, Tiny Captain. Hey, Tiny Captain, how's it going?
Ik zie beeld. Oké.
There you go. I don't have it set up. Can you hear me?
Ik heb er nou geen geluid.
Can you hear me, Tiny?
Jo.
Let's see. Oh, we'll wait for, hello?
Mhm.
I'm not sure if you can hear me, Tiny. Oh, as we're dropping in and out on the video, I'll go ahead and stop that for now. Let's see. I'm not sure what's going on. Because I know I'm going out to meets, and I know I'm going out to you guys. Let's see. I'm going to look at all the host settings, make sure I have everything set up. Yep.
And you don't fall right, and you know about it for a long time after. Oh yeah, I mean, of course.
Can you hear me, Tiny? Well, we'll wait and see. Okay. There was a rather interesting thing I wanted to talk about, in addition to the whole PlayStation Move thing, was I've been watching some gameplay videos and like the FMVs and stuff, and it was actually kind of interesting. It brought up something. I recently watched an FMV movie involving was it Detroit Become Human? And it brought up a rather interesting topic. Let me check with Tiny again. Hey, Tiny Captain, can you hear me? I'm not quite sure he can. Yeah, it looks like Tiny Captain left chat. Maybe he'll be able to hop back in. Let me go ahead and do that again. There we go. All right. So one of the video games I was watching the FMVs for was Detroit Become Human. If any of you have played this game, it involves robots, androids. And let's see. Now you hear me. Okay, so we'll go ahead and bring that up. All right. So you can still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay. So how you doing there, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing really fine. And how do you do, a captain of a spaceship?
I'm doing pretty good, actually. I'm doing pretty good. I kind of let a couple little things leak here with the whole flat Earth navigation thing, just having fun with it, kind of deal.
Yeah.
And you saw my spreadsheet where I put everything together into one cohesive.
Yep.
Yeah.
I did.
Was actually kind of funny is I added a line at the top above the 9 degree, so that you can actually so I can actually go in and just type in any sighting angle, and it automatically kicks out the flat Earth, alleged flat Earth, the alleged flat Earth circle of equal altitude and the correction and everything. No matter what you type in, it just automatically fills everything out.
Yeah. If you put in one error, then it keeps continuing the error.
Yeah.
That's the joke.
But it's actually kind of fun. It was really interesting to listen to Brian Leakey on his version, which is
oh man, I wish we could now. Seriously, I wish we could do a different precision with the same stars on his calculation.
Yeah, that would be interesting. That would be interesting to see what happens. I'm not quite sure how well his calculation would do for the Southern Hemisphere.
No, because that wouldn't work anyway.
But I'm looking at, trying to decode what his equation was, is it looks like a lengthier, more drawn out version of what I did in the spreadsheet.
No. He literally got the precision from an app and then recalculated it back in his point of view. And that's it.
Well, that's not fair.
No. So that's why I said if you get any other position with the same stars, you will get way off. Because he just calculated Polaris from it has to be the reflection has to be this and this and this to get there, and he did the same with the position he had to get for MC2 instance, but he didn't realize that there was a second position. Lucky enough, but and he recalculated that as well to the position So the refraction had to be this to get to that position.
Yeah, it's really hard. It's really hard to follow anything from him.
Yeah,
The way he puts
because
it
it was
together.
not 90 over minus a plus 90 over plus a. And if you actually listen to it carefully, it ended up at 0, I think. Because he was so many times minus plus a and minus 90. Yeah, it equal to each other out or something. I don't know. I couldn't follow.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things. Anytime you listen to him try and explain something, it's generally super, super drawn out and
Yeah.
takes forever. That's why I made the joke that his 20 minutes of trying to explain the calculation was a recipe for a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
That's a good one. Yeah.
I mean, at least with mine, if you don't pay too much attention to it, if you don't dig into it, it all on the surface all works out.
But you realize that the Brian Lickey is actually the American version of Reggie 50.
Yeah, I mean, he actually put work into it. He thought about it, and that.
Yeah, but Reggie does as well.
Yeah, credit to them both. Credit to them both. I mean, granted, they're starting with the premise that the Earth is flat, and then making the data fit that to reach their conclusion. But at least they're doing something. At least they're putting some effort in.
Figure out what's going on. Yeah. So Brian Lickey is actually the US version of the British version of Reggie. Yeah. They're trying. They're missing only the answer.
Yeah.
Simple as that. They're missing the answer. They're trying to find it. They're still going to find it. They're missing that one small link.
I'm actually half tempted to send him the Flat Earth Challenge sextant and have him go out and actually do some real work.
Yeah.
Because I think he would be probably the only flat earther that would actually go out and take sightings.
Yeah. Probably, yes.
And I mean, because as far as the sextant goes, the sextant itself, the usage of the sextant is the easy part. It's everything after that.
The calculations and yeah. Well, if you have an accurate sextant and you can, you know how to use it. Because I laughed my ass off when Bev showed this same argument sextant you actually collaborated to be useful, and he showed one that actually came just out of the box or something from AliExpress or from eBay or whatever. But that was just the one you put down, not calculated or whatever, and it was Bev, his assistant.
Yeah, I asked him about that. I asked him if, did he go through making sure that it was calibrated, that it was zeroed out correctly and everything, and he was just like, it reads angles.
Yeah. I love my ass. Oh.
It's like, no, you actually need to make sure that it's calibrated or it's going to be off. And even if you
Yeah,
do calibrate it, generally the cheap, decorative sextants, even then will still have a rather massive index error.
yeah, it does. Even uh, even the original ones do have it. The good ones, the real sections, expensive ones, €3,000. They have a big uh, error reading.
Yeah, I was looking at the certification sheets on the U.S. Navy Mark II from back in the 90s, and I found a certification sheets for a number of them, and it's like 16 arc minutes, 8 arc minutes, things like that,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
no, they were still usable. I mean, yeah, granted, you needed to make sure that your index correction was, matched up to your angle reading and stuff, but I still very usable devices.
yeah, yeah. Of course. That's why I sometimes say, well, what the fuck? You're only 50 miles off. God damn, you're close. Yeah, but no, no. It's too bad that I don't see that many sections anymore because somehow they declared it not necessary on board on ships anymore, and my job is selling uh, new build or second-hand ships, so they're taking them off them. But yeah, I learned how to use them, and I worked with them, um, so I still know how to do it. Only the last few years, I didn't have a chance to do it anymore, and that sucks.
Yeah, the U.S. Navy only brought them back recently.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still using the Mark IIs. Um, I'm not sure who their manufacturer is now, but
Uh, I, I, I'm happy enough that I learned from the same school where I live. My my father-in-law is a teacher there. Uh, he used to learn it, and somebody else took it over. But he still teaches the sextant. So at least at that school, they're still teaching it. So
yeah, and that's actually kind of critical. I mean, I
yeah,
think in today's age, even with all our tech and everything, I still think that some sort of manual mean manual method is still a damn good backup.
well, especially now with the Russian-Ukrainian war, um, it's not that Ukraine can switch stuff, but Russia can switch GPS off. They have the methods to block GPS, and if they block G- off GPS, we really have to go back to old-fashioned navigation.
Yeah, and it's not that
And
hard to kill a GPS signal. It doesn't
no,
require that much interference at all.
I'm a little bit scared because, well, mm, I'm already getting an old man in an nautical sequence, and there are a lot of people who don't know how to sail without an electronic chart or GPS nowadays. So I wonder what's gonna happen.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know how to do it because I'm used to it, but that's a different story. I don't sail with electronic charts. I still sail with the old-fashioned paper charts. But yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
gonna be fun.
I could probably muddle my way through it. I mean, I'm such a visual hands-on learner that it's one of those, no, what you do is you give me a sextant, take readings, and we go through the process. We don't sit in the
Yeah,
classroom and then go out and use it.
yeah. I saw you do it, and that's fucking fantastic how you did it. And but what I meant is I have to go back to the old-fashioned style, even though I'm still half using the old-fashioned style. And yeah,
That's part of the
assistance
reason why I
reading
pulled
is
down.
only
That's part of the reason why I pulled down um, a couple of old nautical charts just to play around with.
yeah, but assistance reading is not the most what actually our article fraction said. Assistance reading is not even the most important thing of nautical navigation because you're doing that once in a while to actually on an ocean. Gonna pinpoint your position, but who cares actually on an ocean? Um, when you just want to know your direction where you're going, and that you are still going in the quite opposite direction. And when you get close to uh, land again, you can take lane sightings, and when you can take a cross bearing, it's way more accurate.
Yeah.
And he's right. You take those and nautical astronomical sightings only in case of emergency. And yeah, you take them for in case of emergency that you know where you are. But it's not the main point of navigation.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those, as long as you have a general idea where you're at, for the most part, you're fine until you start getting towards, land masses and things like that. Other things you need to
Yeah,
worry about.
yeah, and yeah, but still, also for celestial navigation, you need to have your guess position, your DR, and there's a way if you don't know it to figure it out very quickly, and if you need that, actually, you don't belong at sea, but I'm telling you right now, well, one thing is the sunrise. If you see what time the sunrise appearing, you can look it up. Sunrise has to appear at that time. It appears now at my clock at that time. Okay, then you have your time zone. The other one is if you're the northern hemisphere, it's easy. You have to find Polaris, and every fist is then the case. So from the horizon to Polaris, so many fists, for example. previous between the horizon and Polaris, about 30 degrees.
Yeah.
On the
Yeah.
southern point, it's a little bit more tricky because there's no visible sun star. So you have to get the Southern Cross and the Pody stars. You have to get the line from the Southern Cross and the middle of the Pony stars. And where they intercept, there you have to go fists. And then you get the same thing. But
Yeah, I know
yeah.
during the winter months, when I messed around with the old school like Polynesian method with handspans and stuff like that, the belt of Orion was such a
Yeah.
useful tool in the wintertime. Because that
Mhm.
one star, that top star is just so close. It's just so close to being dead on. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, so I know it rose at this time, and that's this much different from the other place, and it's this high in the sky, so hey, it's a clock.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've also
Yeah.
used Kochev's clock and just playing around with various different methods, and found Kochev's clock to be a very useful tool as well.
Yeah. But nowadays for that for MCQ's challenge, we used the programs and everything. It's very nice, and they work, of course. But if you want to do it manual, you need a DR position.
Yeah.
And what I just explained is how you very fast get a DR position without knowing it. For MC Tunes challenge, was the DR position was the the latitude, of course, is polar position because that's the latitude, simple as that. But for the longitude, you get his longitude. Do you know how?
Not off the top of my head. I'm one of those people where in order to figure out some of this stuff, I had to go into Stellarium, modify Stellarium's environment so that I could put myself
It
there.
was way more simple. You think to he was on time zone -5.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So 15 times 5 is, and you have a roughly position.
Yeah, I think in a couple of the solar sightings I did myself, just not really paying attention to the software side and everything. I'm like, made sure my watch was synced up and down to the second calculated it back to get my east-west. And I wasn't too far off.
No, but the DR position is just a roughly position where you're gonna calculate with. And if you know a time zone,
that gives
times
you a rough,
15, and you have to the roughly position. So and he gave his Polaris sightings, so you already knew one exactly, and the other one was roughly -5.
Yeah, and I mean the sky's nothing but a big damn clock anyway, so once you have your reference point, your time for your reference point, you can work back from there. I mean, I even played around to going, okay, so what happens if my timepiece isn't synced to UTC? Okay, well, I know that I'm leaving this port here, which is at this specific location. So I know that if I set my timepiece to local time here, and go out,
Mm-hmm.
I'll still be able to calculate how far away I am and such. Yeah.
Yeah. The sun has to go up at that time. Oh, it doesn't go up at that time. So my clock is this myself. Yeah.
Either my clock's wrong or the sun moved.
Yeah.
Or I'm
Exactly.
someplace else.
Yeah. That's how it works.
The Turtle Moves put in the chat that he bought a cheap sextant. So far, I've only partially aligned it. You know what? Hit me up in comments if you run into any issues, and I'll be happy to walk you through it. It's really not that hard. It's more of a having an eye for being able to line up points and things like that. I think the hardest part with setting up the toy sextants and getting those to work well is is measuring the index error through the arc. That's the hardest part. But I mean, you can generally cheat a little bit if you have a baseline to work from. Yeah, Sean, you're right. Even with the Davis sextants. Now, I had the opportunity to get a Mark 15 that needed work, and the only reason why I had the opportunity to get one for real cheap. It was like $30-$40. The spring on the micro drum was shot. And the only reason why I didn't do it is I wanted to go brass, metal versus plastic. That was the only thing.
Lucky we gave a Mark 15 to a friend of ours, and he deserves it.
Oh yeah.
And
he definitely did.
A Mark 15 is a good one. For a plastic one, is a good one. I wish I got one. Really, a Mark 15 is a really, really, really good section.
Yeah, I've looked at the 3, the 15, and then what is it, the 25? And the 15
25 is better. Yeah.
And overall, though, the 15 is rated really well, considering the price difference.
Yeah, surely. Yeah. The 25 has more options, but the 15 you can do everything with it. And the 15 is compared to the real sextants that costs way too much.
Okay.
So if you have a Tamara, you're $700-$800. Yeah, that's for good sextants, you have to go and payable. You have to go to the Davis, and the 15th is a good, very good sextant.
Yeah, when I had the money, I also looked at an Ebe, which it's kind of like a cross between a Mark III and a Mark 15. Essentially, imagine the Mark III Davis with a micro
Mark
drum.
3. I know the Mark 1, the Mark 15, and the Mark 25.
I think they're listing them as the Mark 3s. Well, it could be the Mark 1. But
Mark 1 was that strange plastic disc thing. The white triangle with the he had the slides, but no adjustments.
Yeah, it has like no micro drum or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was an Eve sextant that was essentially the same thing, but
Yeah.
with adjustments and a micro drum. And
All right.
apparently they were popular back in the 60s as an alternative. The 60s and 70s as an alternative because they had the micro drum and they were like dirt cheap.
Okay.
And it was one of those, saw it on eBay, it was like, you know what? Maybe I'll get that. And then forgot about it and then went back a couple days later and it sold for like $25.
Oh, fuck. I work with the Tamari most of the time. It's you can get the replica on eBay lot. Yeah, same size Tamari. It's only €50 or $50. But if you look at the real one, they are between €1,500.
Yeah, they're not cheap. They're not cheap.
No.
And that's why I looked at one of the reproductions I looked at was a fairly faithful Plath reproduction.
Yeah.
And that was like $90. It's like the filters were in the right place. The general geometry and layout of it was correct, but it was a reproduction. It was one of the higher quality reproductions. And it was one of those, I could probably get that dialed in. But I don't have the $80 for it.
Yeah.
Because I looked at the Tamiya knockoffs and I'm like, no, the filters are in the wrong place. They're not the right size. This thing is a mess. I'd have to like modify the hell out of it to.
Oh yeah. I guess so. They look exactly like the original ones, but the price difference is so. I don't believe it.
In the companies that are selling some of these reproductions are selling them as supposedly working sextants.
Yeah.
And just looking at the filters, you're like, no, you're going to burn your freaking eye out using this damn thing if you do a solar sighting.
Yeah, but saying this is to my sextant, even though, yeah, okay, people don't know what the normal price of the Maya sextant is, but they sell it as the Maya sextant.
Yeah.
€50. Yeah, I know the Maya sextant. €50,000.
Yeah.
the different price. That how can people believe it? People believe it. Okay, people believe it. People ask me, why don't you buy a sextant? They're not that cheap. They're not that expensive. Buy yourself. They're not that expensive. Come on, they are.
Yeah.
I can't. Yeah.
God help you if you look at one of the electronic sextants. The one with the screen readout on the back side and everything. I looked at one of those like, ooh, that would be a cool toy. Oh, wait, $5,000. Never mind.
I don't even want to have one because no. But the funny part is also in the US, the sextant is cheaper than in Europe.
Yeah, that's one of the weird things is even with the Davis sextants, the prices are all over the place. I mean, I saw some listings for the 15 in Europe and they cost more than what the 25 does in the US.
Yeah, the one we bought from Beacon was for normal price of in the US, but if you want to buy that one in Europe, it's times, 3 times as much.
So Aaron Reese in the chat said he thought about getting an emergency sextant and seeing what an absolute amateur could pull off with it. Dude, I got within a few miles with the cheap little toy that I have after I dialed it in. The sextant itself, if you've ever done photography or anything and you're trying to line things up, you're going to get a lot better
sight to the
results.
star correctly, even if you do it with they call it the angle meter, used at school for measuring angles.
Oh, the quadrants and the quadrant compasses and stuff like that.
Detector, use hang a paperclip in that one, and you measure the star, and you have it correctly. You can do the same.
Yeah, I mean, I even put together an idea. I was going to take a digital inclinometer and the one that read out to 100ths of a degree, and essentially glue that to a cheap little $5 finder scope from like an old, junk telescope or something that gave me a crosshair, and do that. And it was like, you know what, for the price, it would actually work out pretty well and to be pretty damn accurate, all things considered.
But you remember when you had this projector, and why is that hole inside of there? Well, if you fold out a paperclip and hook it in, well, you can use it as a sextant.
Yeah, I even looked at plans to make one using cheap mirrors and a CD.
Yeah.
Make one out of a CD and things like that.
I actually learned that kids who, when I was very young, to have to measure the angle to a star or whatever in the sky with a projector and a paperclip. So
yeah. It's not the tools to measure the angles. Your elevation angles. You can make it out of almost anything.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason why I find it so funny that, all these so-called experts on the flat Earth side are just running away from actually doing it.
Yeah. We actually told now already a bunch of things that you don't need the equator for, or don't need the horizon for. And there is still about that you cannot take an angle if you do not have a straight line to the horizon. But you will not have an horizon with a straight line. It's not possible.
Yeah, if the Earth's flat, there would never be a horizon, period. It just fade off into mush.
Yeah. And the video I'm busy with now shows why you actually need an horizon and a sun going beneath it to get an angle between the direction of the horizon and the direction of a star. And it's also something they still keep forgetting. It's not a triangle. It's an angle between two directions.
Yeah.
We don't care about how far that direction is. We just care about that angle.
I mean, if they put effort into it, actually put some serious effort into it, they could come up with a method kind of similar to what I did with it with a spreadsheet, they could come up with a
Yeah.
method that to the average Joe would be dead on. The average person be like, wait, this makes a lot of sense. And their sightings are accurate.
Oh,
But
yeah.
they're not even putting the effort into it. They're just going, well, you need a triangle. Well, you need a triangle. Yeah, okay, whatever, buddy.
I know you got with your April Fool's joke. You got a lot of people believing you.
Yeah, that was actually kind of funny. That was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Turtle Moves goes, if you need a baseline, how can you take a reading off of a ship? They haven't figured that out yet. Well, actually, they have. That's why they're not talking about it.
Yeah. This whole fucking April Fool's joke of you. I had actually problems to keep my mouth shut. That's why I keep pestering you with the fucking quantum erasure thing, because I couldn't help myself. But, okay.
Well, the funny thing is I had to go into back chat in like Discord and stuff, and other people's chat.
Told me it was a joke, but I straight away saw it.
It's like, dude, it's a joke. Stop. You're gonna blow the joke. Stop it.
Yeah, and that's why I just went on the QES thing, or else I blew it. So I had to go on blaming you being too much nicer than QE.
Yeah, I can only get so angry because beyond that point, it definitely goes into full sailor mode. And if I had done the video in full Navy House mode, the entire video would have been nothing but curse words and insults. It'd be like sextant. Yeah, it'd be sextant, and then 5 minutes of beep.
Yeah. Fuck hell. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's true.
Because what's funny is my wife's Navy retired.
Okay.
My old man is Marine Corps retired. Her parents are Navy or Army retired. So all those different phrases and curse words and stuff like that. Oh yeah, I've heard it all, and it picked it up way too easy.
Yeah. Well, I'm not Navy. I'm Merchant Navy. And my dad is also Merchant Navy. My father-in-law is Merchant Navy, turned into teacher Merchant Navy. That's about my whole family.
Yeah, my grandfather was Merchant Marine World War II. And oh boy, did he cuss us a storm too.
My grandfather was not so nice person, but he invented. He was an inventor for the Dutch telecom. So he worked. He was one of the persons that actually invented the telex over radio.
Cool. My father-in-law is one of the fathers of the internet. He dates back to the initial work done by DARPA for ARPANET.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't like my grandfather. That's all. Has a different reason, but It was. He was about. My grandfather turned out to be. He died at 101, but when he was 98, my daughter was born. He didn't want to meet my daughter,
No, that's a shame.
and that's when I said, "Okay, fine." Just the end of contact with me to you as well.
Yeah, unfortunately for my with my wife being half Japanese, it caused some issues with my grandmother because my grandmother was in Hawaii during the Pearl Harbor attack. So there was a lot of deep-seated
Oh yeah.
issues there.
Yes.
So kind of after my grandmother found out that I was dating a half Japanese girl, she was not happy.
Oh, damn.
But it was one of those I
Yeah.
could understand it. I understood her position. Didn't like
Do you
it.
know that? Do you know the history between Indonesia and um, uh, the Netherlands?
Not really.
Well, it's forgotten a terrible history. Um, we we used to be there and help them, and then there was a war, and they helped us, and then it turned, and we did as Dutch people, we did terrible things in Indonesia. Uh, I work a lot with Indonesian people. And of course, I'm a captain on the ship. And my last trip, the Indonesian chief engineer uh, said to me, yeah, but you're my boss. I said, well, I think we as Dutch people not are allowed to call or to say that we are boss above an Indonesian person ever anymore. We're just colleagues. The only difference is if something goes wrong, I'm to blame.
Yeah, but if you're the
And
boss,
that's how it works.
isn't
That's
that
how
always
it
the
works
case?
according to me. I'm the captain. I'm to blame if something is wrong, goes wrong. But for the rest, everybody works together. That's how I work on board of a ship.
My wife was the same way. She always, hey, when
The only thing is, when it's your wife, you're always the blame. At least that's how my world works.
yes, I am reminded of that from time to time. I'm reminded of that. You
She's
didn't.
never the fault.
You didn't. Oh, wait, I shouldn't have said that. Oops.
Yeah. Yeah. So in my work, I take the blame, and at home, I have to take the blame because my wife says it's my. Yeah. Yep. That's life.
Well, Commander 401 asked in the chat a couple minutes back. I'm sorry I missed it, buddy. Said, what's the angular resolution on that toy sextant, Loki? It is 7 Wybingas.
Shit, I cannot see the.
I double checked. It is 7 Wybingas.
I must have the shut up. Fuck. I forgot about it. Actually closed it. Damn.
So yeah, we've been having a lot of fun
Yeah.
behind the scenes with the rest of the Sextant gang. It is.
Oh
It
yeah.
is.
We did.
Oh man, it's so much fun. McToon, hey, what if I do this?
Yeah.
Proto Ed. Well, what happens if you toss this into the mix?
Yep.
And you go in, they'll never get it. And I'm just sitting in the background, just snickering.
No. But that doesn't work because this and this and this. But I just wrote it. I just read it in my fucking tables and not the computer. What do you mean tables? Yeah, I have it here in my hands. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's so funny because you guys are going, this would never work on a flat earth. This would never work on a flat earth. And the what if part of my brain is going, how many laws of physics would I have to break to make this work on flat earth? Hold on, give me a second.
Yeah, but I'm also a really what if person. Yeah, I cannot go against logic.
Oh no, neither can I. I mean, you guys seen with some of the stuff I dropped in there. It's like, okay, so if we change this, that, and the other thing, and essentially the rest of the universe, this works.
Now I understand why I actually figured out the joke so quickly. Because I'm also a figure of what if, and I discovered you what if thinking of your joke way too quickly.
I know, it was brutal. It's like, no, shh, quiet, quiet. And I mean, I played it out for the couple days.
Oh yeah,
it was fun. It was just really exhausting though.
Yeah,
so
it was really good, and I almost destroyed it in the beginning, and I thought of a way. I had to think of a way how to turn it back, and I hopefully I did it in the correct way. You asked me to actually push it in other scenes as well, but at that time I was in discussion with other people. If I pushed it in there, that was complete opposite as what I said to them before, so that didn't work.
I totally understand. I totally understood.
Yeah,
and I mean that's why I've been playing the whole seeding thing, like with the video I did back in November, where the original core, that spreadsheet that I did, comes from.
Mm-hmm.
And what I did is that works. If you do the calculations, it all works. But it doesn't account for refraction correctly because it was still referring back to standard almanac correction calculations. That's where that other calculation came in that I did for the April Fool's joke.
Yeah.
So it's one of those, when you tie the two together, it works out rather nicely. Yeah. But, because we do debunking videos and stuff like that, it's not like, we can really seed much in the various Discord servers and stuff, because they're just going to be like, you're a debunker. Why would we listen to you? This contradicts Oakley. Why would we listen to you?
Yeah. Yeah, the same. I managed to get into the 24/7 Discord again. with a new email address. But the first time I got in there, I got kicked out within 3 seconds.
Oh yeah, I got kicked out. Out of 24.
I got in there and I asked a question about. I can't even remember what it was. Jesus.
Yeah, I think what got me in trouble was
it was about
somebody made a claim. What got me in trouble was somebody made a claim, and I said, "Okay, post your evidence. Post how you collected the data," and it's like immediately banned.
I just asked why do great circles work.
All you did was ask about circles.
That's circles.
So funny.
Great circles navigation works. This is just completely incorrect on a flat Earth, and but they match a globe. And why do they work? I was immediately kicked out. But yeah, that confirms, my job wouldn't be possible on a flat Earth. And that's how I actually got into this community, because some Dutch religion group came to me and he said, "What is your job?" I'm a medical officer in the sunny world. Oh, that's not possible. Maybe it's not possible. The Earth is flat. Your job is a lie. What? And then I started looking for it. But no. There was a religion person that actually thought my job was a lie.
Yeah, navigators don't exist. Yeah, people just show up wherever they need to be.
You tell that on an island where you come with a group every year, and it's a fucking island, the only island in the Netherlands with a swimming school on it, and about more than half the people are actually nautical sailors. The rest is in tourism, and the other part is in nautical sailing. So,
yeah, where I live, everything is tied to everything around here is essentially tied to maritime. And we got a major shipyard here for civilian and military. Then of course all the fishermen and all the freighters and the Navy and all that stuff. So it's kind of hard to not run into somebody that's not doing a job that's directly related to it.
No, we don't have much Navy or much fishermen. A few fishermen, not much. But everybody is in actually half the people is in merchant sailing.
It's actually
Navy.
And it's kind of cool living in a maritime city. Just the history and stuff like that. Yeah, if person A doesn't know something, person B does, or they know somebody that knows. And
there used to be a whaler island, and you understand what whaler is? Whale catching.
So what kind of boiler?
We used to be a whaler, whale catching, when that was not allowed anymore, and it was already yeah, a bit like selling all over the world. They stopped catching whales and went into merchant sailing. That's the whole thing about my island.
Okay. Yeah, it's
So
one of those. It's
actually a
been
boring story, but
it's been forever since I've been out far enough to where can't see land, stuff like that, and I actually miss it. I miss it. I really do love the water.
um, yeah, I live on an island. I sail around the world. So this is my job. I can't go on a holiday where I cannot see the water. Just, I need the sea around me. I don't know why, but yeah.
Yeah, I
It's,
mean, I really do enjoy the water.
yeah.
And unfortunately, my daughter hasn't gotten used to it yet.
My daughter is. She's a youth member of the rescue team, but she says she doesn't like it anymore, but she is 14 now, so yeah, puberty.
Yeah, that's why I'm hoping my daughter stays 8. Just 8's an awesome age. She can stay that way. She can stop growing
Oh yeah.
now.
Oh yeah. The good thing is my daughter still wants to be a math teacher.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's still awesome.
right now my daughter writes books. She makes up her
Okay.
own stories, makes her own comic books, stuff like that. And it's really funny because you'll ask her the story and she'll just spew it out, and you can hear her developing the story as she goes
Oh yeah.
along. And it's
Yeah.
just so good. And they're just long stories. I mean,
Oh, I love that.
the last comic book that she did was like 20, 30 pages. Our
Oh,
stapler
man.
couldn't staple it together. I felt so bad.
The last comic book I did was a trip we did, and I had so much, so I had a page every day. So every day, the rest of the crew of the ship came to me to read that page, and we made a whole comic book about it. But
That's awesome.
yeah, because of the trip, there happened so much during that trip. It was possible, but the next trip I tried the same, and nothing happened. So yeah,
Oh, there's been times where it's like, okay, honey, it's time to go to bed.
yeah,
Okay, daddy. And then I check on her an hour later and she's still up drawing her comic book.
yeah.
Honey, you need to go to
That's
bed.
possible. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, good.
okay. And then another hour later, check on her and she's still drawing her comic book. You need to go to bed. It's late.
That
I'm
I have
never
that
going to
with
get this
my
book
wife
finished.
actually. My wife doesn't draw books, but um, yeah, she first did I studied psychology. I paid for it. Okay, and but she was already drawing a lot, but now she's entered the already a couple of years ago. The how do you call it in English? That's an art school, but a university checked art school, so not like you actually get lessons of the great masters and studies in real Rembrandt and everything. It's not like I studied art like most left earthers say from I studied art, but this is a real art university. Uh, she's now in last 2 years.
Yeah, my wife used to be a graphic artist. When the flat earthers are talking about perspective, I knew they were wrong, but just to make sure, have to check with the household authority. So I checked with my wife, and it's like, they have no clue.
Yeah, but it's the same with I studied art, and then I think you studied art. What the fuck did you study art then? What kind of did you study the graphics? How Rembrandt did his ideas of colors, or yeah. That is what my wife is studying. Where did the great masters got their ideas from, how to use colors and what the techniques were and whatever? That is what my wife is learning.
Oh, look, a Mallory's popped up in chat.
Oh,
bonjour, Mallory.
I don't see I still don't see the chat. I will. Want to see the chat?
Let's see what happens. Meets hasn't kicked me out yet. How odd. Because I was getting an hour time limit, but I don't have one now.
We're still only in Meets now. Yeah. That's why I don't see anything in chats, because I'm in Meets.
Yeah, and it's probably a little tiny on the screen.
No. Point.
Let's see.
Oh, there it is. Okay, then I have to go. Now.
And I dropped the Meets link in the chat again. If Mallory shows up, we're all doomed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, then we know who did it. Hint, Mallory. No joke.
Oh no, I don't know. Depending on what she's doing, I have a pretty good idea on how to get her in here.
I don't hate Mary or dislike Mary or whatever. So
interesting. Aaron said it's something about the Meets doing the live stream being weird. That's actually kind of odd, because I just checked the Meet stream itself, or checked the live stream itself, and it seems to be doing okay.
Yeah, I finally got it that I actually have I opened the YouTube stream, and I got Dus had je het plakkaat.
Oh, that's my wife talking about the cat. Yeah. Yeah, he's going to be so big. So big. I'm actually kind of scared. Because I did a shoulder measurement. I don't know if you caught it earlier. I did a shoulder measurement today, and he's already 10 inches, and he's only 6 months old.
Oh, but no, the biggest cat in the world I used to have. Hi, Mallory.
Hi, Mallory.
Hello. Bonjour. I sneaked in. I'm on Loki's spaceship. What's up? Sorry.
Hi, what's up? No, but my cat, I had two brothers. One is the small one I still have, and the big one was about 9.5 kilos.
Ooh.
Kilogram. And this one is about 7.5.
Yeah, it's 6 months old. The kitten has a paw spread that's over 2 inches.
Right.
And yeah, he's already 3 feet long from nose to tip of tail. And like I said, 10 inches at the shoulder. So by all standards, he's already big for a domestic cat.
All right. A question. I see you both with the screen. Me with a gray scheme. Do I have an avatar or?
No, you don't have an avatar for some reason. Not quite sure why.
All right.
I just came here to find the cupcake button, and I can't seem to find it at all. And I don't want to push buttons because last time I fucked shit up. So can you just tell me where the button is?
It's on the third panel to the left, fifth down, and it's that one that changes colors all the time.
Oh shit! All right, be right back.
Why the fuck do I don't have an avatar?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. You didn't have an avatar when you came in the first time either.
All right.
Maybe Mallory stole your avatar.
Maybe.
No.
I've been clicking a lot of buttons trying to figure out which one dispenses candies, which one dispenses cupcakes, and which one takes all the Clover monies. Yep.
But you know, I draw my avatar myself.
How weird.
It's my own drawing.
Your audio sounding pretty good, Mallory. Whatever settings you got going on is sounding pretty good.
Yeah. Is it grainy at all though? Cause in my ears, oh my god, in my ears I hear like a grain to it, like it's like fuzzy. Do you hear fuzz?
It sounds like maybe some background noise.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm learning, so give me what. I'm trying. I'm trying.
It's funny.
So what have you guys?
People are in here. I see my avatar.
That's really weird because your avatar popped up for like just a second and then disappeared again.
Yeah.
Maybe Meats doesn't like me today.
Yeah, or it doesn't like me, and my avatar saw that.
And I got the warning for the hour timeout. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start another Meets.
Yeah. Maybe that works.
So for you guys, if you guys can read the in-call messages, that's the new Meets link. I will also drop the new Meets link into the chat. And that's where we're going to be going to. Assuming the thunderstorm doesn't take out my internet. How weird. You had an avatar just a second ago and it disappeared.
Again. What the fuck?
Nip I'm not yelling. Oh my god.
Hey, Mallory, if you could move over to the other meats.
Oh, other meat? Oh, I did see it. Okay.
And I clicked admit, but you didn't pop in. How weird. There we go.
There's Mallory.
I found it. Good. Me very good. And I found the button. This is swell.
You heard the time for my avatar because I only had the avatar for a few seconds.
Damn, tiny captain. I really hate to say this, but Globers can't tech. Sorry.
Maybe Tiny Captain's gray. Maybe Tiny Captain's gray because he's a gray alien.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Hey, Aaron, the reason why I'm not using the Shills meats is I'd have to get Dick to authorize it again. Damn, changing passwords and crap. So that's why I'm not using it. Yeah, I really didn't have anything planned for this live stream. It was just, yeah, here, do whatever.
Would you be chilling? Are you gonna have another movie night soon?
I'm thinking about it. With as well as the bar games do. Uh-oh, it's a Nimrod. Should we let him in?
Yes. I like Nimrod.
Hey, Nimrod. You're muted.
I think it's...
Yes, I was muted for a second. I hope you can hear me nice and well. Good.
Yeah, I can hear you good.
Excellent. What is going on?
How's it going on with you, Nimrod?
I am sitting here enjoying a beer, playing Mass Effect, and the cat is fast asleep in her radiator bed because she just got a tin of tuna.
We're going to have to end the stream because Tiny Captain has a face. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, no.
The thing is, my avatar wasn't showing up because it was showing a dummy camera. And now I actually have to figure out how I go to switch off camera. That's me.
Yeah, it's Beats. Who knows? They'll probably change how things are done next week.
Okay.
This is a first for me using Google Meets.
Nimrod. We only talked in chat, I think.
Yeah,
we have talked in chat before, and Mr. 42 streams and Mr. Sensible and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I recognize your voice.
Yeah. Mr. Sensible, we talked really in voice. Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
I remember the voice on one of the chats we were talking about. You living on an island somewhere.
Yeah, I'm living on an island above the Netherlands. That's correct.
Yep. My memory isn't very good, but sometimes it works. Sometimes it works. Oh, and look who's turned up. Right when I start talking, she knows to turn up.
Well, have you paid the cat toll today?
She got a tin of tuna, so she likes to be on. I may disappear because I have to go and give Meets video access. I may shortly be back.
Okay.
I finally got my avatar there. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Looks good. No, so one of the things that kind of hit me last night was I was watching the FMVs for Detroit Become Human, and it got me thinking about we're kind of getting to that point where in a decade or two we might end up running into that situation with AI. At what point do you consider an AI alive? Look at that pretty kitty.
Parrot cat.
Well, obviously an AI will never be alive.
Well,
and the other thing is, I think an AI will think too logically to allow life.
You know,
Depends.
isn't there like loads of questions like that? Wasn't it Isaac Asimov has his questions for intelligent computers and stuff, and at what point does technology become sentient? And how sentient can you claim to be, considering there are animals that have no sentience, but they aren't AI, but computers are way more intelligent than them. So where does the limit start, stop, etc.? I mean, it's running into that Star Trek question about Data and him being a sentient life being, or whatever they called it.
Yeah, I think it kind of gets into, from a programming aspect, random numbers, a random number generator to create a totally unexpected outcome, but given the program's parameters, would still be kind of within its parameters.
Well, I mean, computers are basically just computing zeros and ones logically, and humans can think logically and illogically. Can we make a computer act illogically when it's just zeros and ones and programmed by humans, so it will go wrong at some point?
Well, that's where it gets really weird, because if you think about it, humans, instead of us working in zeros and ones, we are essentially an electrochemical computer. And
I was just going to say the same thing, because we sort of think with electrical reasoning as well in our brain. It's not zeros and ones to us.
Yeah, and our output is based off of data that we've gathered throughout our life.
Yeah, but can we make a computer learn the way we learn, say? Not exactly how they'll never be able to learn like we learn, obviously, but can they learn from experience?
there's been a couple of experiments with that with AI where they have what was it? The the AI learning how to walk.
Yeah, but okay, that's possible. But
I mean, can we make somebody like Mallory learn to see the world properly?
You see the word "learn" beside Mallory?
No.
Like that is just impossible. People have tried. Okay, I'm strictly here because there's a kitty in the spaceship, and I know things. I know things.
Yeah,
I've seen the green background in the CGI stuff. I know I'm not supposed to tell because I got cupcakes and stuff, but I just gotta say it anyways. All right, that's all.
Okay, Mary, I will say it for you then. My mind is also fucked up as border again. But no, an AI cannot fantasize. It only can think logically, and my logic thinking goes sometimes against the fantasy.
Yeah, I guess what you're trying
the other thing, and I try to middle up between that to stay human.
I mean, can we force something? Can we
Just
force something that's purely logical to think illogically while thinking logically?
Commander 401 is in here. Hello, Commander
401.
Hi there. Yeah, I know how hard it is keeping the cupcakes locked up. These guys eat a whole bunch of them.
Yeah. I still haven't figured out how they keep getting into the rum stores.
Ah, fuck's sake, he did something fantastic. Okay.
My question is, are they the happy sort of cupcakes or just the normal sugary, nasty things?
Ask Mallory.
What?
I guess we have our answer.
Yeah. Oh my god, I have no idea what I'm doing here. I just like cookies and cupcakes, honestly.
So nothing unusual with you, Mallory, then?
No, not at all. Oh my god, yeah. Oh shit, I'm gonna mute myself back. Boop.
I want a quick flash just to answer where Mallory was in there. Just one answer. So it doesn't know. So I typed Mallory, and I won.
What?
Yeah, you actually voted for me.
You were talking about
Quiplash the other night.
Your memory is even better.
Yes, soon. Over on the shills, we're gonna be playing like Quiplash and all kinds of shit. It's gonna be starting in like 15 minutes, so I had time to like go on this CGI. I mean, real spaceship that shows the
maintenance penguins.
Oh man.
Yeah, you were pretending that. I saw it for the first time, but
maintenance
I'm
penguins
playing it with
cat butt.
With Slim and with
we see cat butt.
Lower Mom and with
cat butt.
That's so cute.
Kittens.
Yeah.
How can you teach a computer to? Can a computer go crazy and become illogical? You can wind up having a lot of does not compute things. You know, different orders contradicting each other.
Yeah, but won't the computer just try and process it just simple zeros and ones to either make it 0 or 1 at the very end of its equation? Like, isn't that the whole point of computers? to get a 0101 answer?
No, you have, you have 2-bit, 8-bit, 64-bit. You have multiple bit answers depending upon how many numbers you actually need. And then you have if, else, loops. And, for example, that I'm trying to remember, was it Asimov came up with the 5 rules or something for
It was
robots?
Was it not 3 rules that Asimov came up with?
It was 3 rules,
It
and
was-
then there was an additional 0th rule. So it's technically 4.
Yeah.
And those can contradict themselves. Like the robot's supposed to preserve itself, but if a human's in danger, it's supposed to protect that human. But I just remember someone doing something on this and showing how even Asimov's rules can, have logical paradoxes. You can't. A computer might have problems.
Yeah, but that was the whole point of what Asimov was of him writing those rules and those paradoxes, was to show that these are truly artificial intelligences. But I don't think we're anywhere near that. And to then say that we then fall into the Star Trek, is data a life form or a machine? That question.
Data, I would say, is alive.
Yeah.
But is he really?
Especially just before they killed him.
They turned him off.
I did not like Nemesis.
But I mean, Data has an on-off switch, so is he truly, really alive? I mean, you can turn him off and turn him on again?
Well, humans have off switches. They don't much have on switches, but they do have off switches.
We have an on switch. That's birth.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But you can't have the on switch turned on, then turn it off, then turn it on very easy. No. The only way you can do that is to enact the mammalian diving reflex, and they do use that to put people under, but that's only under certain circumstances, and it doesn't. They do surgeries.
It's not really turning off or turning on. We have obviously, if you can see it, turning on is before birth, 9 months before birth, then we are turned on, and we are turned off when we die.
Yeah, and there's a specific chemical message that your cells give off when you die, and if we could learn how to stop that particular chemical message, you could localize death to a certain. There is a chemical signal that triggers your entire body to die, other than just oxygen deprivation.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I think, as far as dealing with AI and stuff like that, is I think the parameters that have been established now, that have been used up to now, definitely need to be redefined. Because, for example, you have the Turing test, which is, does this computer, this AI, pass as a human in interaction? There's already some damn good chatbots using fuzzy logic out there that the average person cannot tell the difference.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Yeah,
and they are very difficult to. If you don't know what the point you're looking for, it's very difficult to see. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, the thing is, my daughter and I are both thinking very logically. My daughter also wants to be a math teacher, but my wife is more into languages and stuff, but she thinks illogically. So to get an AI to pass as human, you have to have a certain personality to it that is logically or illogically. And I don't think that a computer program can choose that.
I think we're very far away from creating proper AI that is indistinguishable from human thought and logic.
AI can do wonderful things, but take like Blender, for instance. They have an AI denoiser. It can do one thing very, very well and faster than a human could ever do it. Right now, a lot of the AIs are specialized, but interestingly, one of the reasons why, well, what I was going to say is the GPUs are actually being used to develop AIs because they actually work similar to the human brain.
Really?
That's what I read anyway. It had to do with, I think it was on NVIDIA, when NVIDIA was showing off their AI denoiser for Blender and other programs. That was one of the things that I read that the GPUs were being used for, and I'm sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied and I don't want to say anything that I am unsure of.
Don't worry about it. I think we're all just kind of picking stuff randomly from our thoughts. And nobody can ever know everything. I mean, I've had some wonderful conversations with my brother about AI and computer stuff like this, and he just tells me, nope, never work.
Yeah.
If anyone says they know everything, they're full of shit.
Well, he has a PhD in physics, and I think he knows what he's talking about.
Oh yeah, but he doesn't know everything.
No
one knows everything.
Like dealing with these computers and AIs and stuff is part of this job. So
yeah, he probably knows a lot more than most people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I can't say that he knows everything either. But it's just like, well, could we ever have something like a Data walking around, or these robots from, what was that Will Smith movie, I Am Robot by Asimov? Will we ever have things like that in our lives? And he's like, no, we're so far away from having that sort of technology.
Yeah, but yeah, what I said is the scary part that AI won't see the difference between illogical choice and a logical choice. And that's why all those movies are also about that. Yeah, AI is actually pretty dangerous.
Yeah, I mean,
iRobot is actually about the logical and illogical choice. They invented one of them that also could think illogical, and that's Satan.
Yeah, the logical choice isn't always the correct choice.
No. And
humans are always going to be able to beat computers on that level, hands down, pretty much forever. Is what I've taken away.
I'm gonna slowly slip away while I take this cupcake.
Hey, Mallory, are you going to? Hey, Mallory,
we got you. You're not allowed. Oh, stop, Mallory.
Hey, Mallory, are your cupcakes full of wonderful green goodness?
Always.
Excellent.
Fucking always, Nimrod. You guys have yourself a good night.
Good night.
Good night, Mallory.
Thank you, Loki. And everyone else, have yourselves a good night. Come on, the show's after you. Goodbye.
Yeah, actually, she's right. I think the shells are starting gaming thing here soon.
Yeah.
And we
Are
have
they?
Yeah, they're doing some gaming tonight. At least on the Discord server. I'm not sure if they're going to stream it.
Oh, because I haven't seen anything on YouTube, and I'm not so good on the Discord stuff.
I've been a few
Yeah.
times on the Discord gaming there.
You know,
Yeah, I
you're
just sit and watch
probably
and laugh at them.
you were getting
Uh,
onto something about logical choices versus illogical choices. Just look at the people around us who have not so mature emotional intelligence. Basically, they're screaming toddlers.
I can hold my hand up to being like that sometimes.
You mean the people that have illogical choices around me?
Or they try to hide their 2-year-oldish. There's a philosopher named Ayn Rand. She's been, unfortunately, a huge influence on the United States. And if I could sum up her entire philosophy, it's I don't have to give a damn about anyone who doesn't mean anything to me selfishly. Now, if you're living in a society of millions of people, and you live off that. That's why we have the sovereign citizens. That's why we have all these people screaming about their rights, and they don't think that they have any responsibilities.
But the other thing is my I think logical and math and stuff. Yeah, that's going around my head all the time. But my wife doesn't. But she's way smarter in languages and she speaks 3 languages. She learns a third one, a fourth one actually. She's learning now.
It's called
she's way smarter in that.
It's called polyglotism.
And also in what's going on around the world. She knows way more about that than me. But if something has to be calculated or math or explained how things work, that's me.
Well,
there's different types of smart.
There is very visible studies that do show a very distinct distinguishment between men's logical thinking in quotes and women's logical thinking in quotes.
Stop. My daughter is exactly like me.
And I have a daughter as well, and she's 10, and she's starting to go from the logical that I've been teaching her into and she's also showing the logical that her mother's teaching her, and they clash in her brain, and she's trying to figure out which one is the one for her.
My daughter's 14, and she was never tried whatever. She's figured it out herself, and she wants to be a math teacher, and it just came out of herself.
Yeah, but I mean, for every rule, there's obviously going to be an exception.
Yeah, but
there's always the exception.
What I mean is there are different types of smart.
Totally. If I was proper school smart, I'd know German and I'd know Irish.
Yeah.
But I can only speak Swedish and English.
Yeah, I'm not learning smart. I'm very hard dyslexic. I made my Siemens school, my Siemens University in the Netherlands, because I had to get 70% of the exam correct. Because I had dyslexia, I could only finish 70%. So I had 100% of that 70% finished of correct. So that's how I made my school.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the position of myself being I learn by doing rather than being in school, sitting in a room, learning through books. Most of my Swedish that I know now, I'm fairly fluent in Swedish. But I've learned most of that just by being in Sweden and speaking with Swedes, which is incredibly difficult because they all speak English.
Okay.
Well, kids learn languages pretty much the same way. We're designed to learn languages by actually using them.
I must admit as well that my senior school, I actually had to fight for it to get it, and I only had 70% finished. I had 70%, but to enter it, I lied. I did not have the credentials to enter it.
Yeah,
but you succeeded, so kudos. Great.
Yeah, when they discovered it, that I actually did not have the credentials to enter the school, they didn't want to get me off the school because I was one of the best.
well, this is the thing. It's like that movie Catch Me If You Can. What was it? Frank Abagnale. He said he passed the bar exam just by reading books, learning and doing. And some people are just like that. The learning curve is completely different than everybody. And schools saying that you need to have all this book smart, but you don't have the book smart, but you can do the actual results. You can do whatever you need to do to get the proper results.
Yes and no.
Here in Sweden, when they get into upper secondary school, they go into there is a general upper secondary school, and then they have upper secondary schools which are focused on a pure job related stuff. So you've got restaurant schools, you've got seaman schools, you've got schools for learning to fly, truck driving schools.
I mean, for me, I can assimilate a ton of data.
Oh, sorry.
A ton of data. Just that whole book learning part. Yeah, I can soak all that in. But it is completely useless to me until I put it into real world applications. But if it's one of those, if I do the real world side first, then all the books make sense. It's nothing. It's a cakewalk.
Yeah, learn by doing.
Yeah. With me, I spent my 20s basically reading books with a machine shop in my garage. And then in my early 30s, I went back to college to get a mechanical engineering degree, 54 credits towards one. And I really didn't have to work on any of my studies up until about 48 credits. So basically 46 to 48 credits. So basically last semester was the one that killed me. And practical application of stuff. I'm sorry if I...
No, you're good. Of course not. But with me, it was, I failed every school because of my dyslexia. And I really, 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 really want to do the senior school before that. So, the only thing I lied about was my credentials on my languages. What I didn't officially need, but they were asking for it. My maths, my everything was way higher than they asked for. So.
Well, I have a very good example of that. My ex and her friend both applied to a university in Ireland. And my ex's friend never sent in her results of any English tests to show that she's ever, needed English or passed any English tests. Whereas my ex went in and sent in her results on her English tests, which weren't so great, but she's better in English than I am. And she didn't get accepted to the university, but her friend did. Which sucks major ass. And the reason why they didn't accept her was because her English wasn't good enough, just by the pure results.
I was accepted at the senior school because my age. I was 4 or 5 years older than the oldest at the school. So they expected that I had everything.
Well, yeah, life experience means an awful lot.
When they discovered that I didn't have it, they couldn't kick me off the school anymore, because then they were actually dropping their higher intelligence persons. They were actually dropping intelligence them or grades, because I was one of the best students. And the difference was because I was one of the best students, not because I knew that much, but my age. I was interested in learning, and all the guys beyond lower than me were just, we have to go to school. That was the big difference.
Yeah, life experience makes a big difference in certain types of schools. All the jobs I've had throughout my life have basically been learning by doing. And any written tests I've had to do, I've done really badly in, despite the fact I know everything, but I just can't put it into writing it down properly. But yet, I can go out there and I can do it. I drive buses, I drive trucks, I know all the rules that go with it, but you sit me down in a driving test, where it's a written driving test, I'm probably going to fail it.
For my Siemens exams, I was so glad that I passed with only 70%. And I had to get exactly 70, minimum 70%. And when I later discovered that the 70% I made were the only answers I gave. So I had 100% of my answers correctly, and the other 30% I never had time to answer because my dyslexia. I didn't answer. So I passed because I had everything 100% correctly, even though I had 70%.
That must really suck, having dyslexia when you're trying to do really good in tests and stuff.
Oh yeah. At my time, there was no help.
But
there was a test. You were discovered you have dyslexia, and you get a report and you had tests of how bad you had it. And you had this bookwork of paper. This I have, but nobody recognized it, and you still had to do everything. Yeah.
Can't be easy life. There are ways around it, though.
Jack Kennedy had dyslexia. I think Einstein had dyslexia.
Einstein had it. Yeah. That's correct.
A lot of very intelligent people have mental problems. It's just their logical reasoning just doesn't allow it. I mean, when I was younger, I always wrote. Now, this is when I was like 10 to 12 in primary school. I kept writing my K's backwards when I was learning how to do cursive writing and stuff like that, and my R's as well.
It's very simple. You can't be sane if you think smart.
Hey guys, it's a little over 2 hours now, so I guess in order to slide this still in the YouTube joke of an algorithm, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I do plan on, again, trying to make my live stream on Thursday a regular thing. So you guys are always welcome. Thank you very much for hopping in.
Well,
Thank you, Loki.
Well, Loki Fish, I've heard a lot about you, and I've seen quite a few things you've done. I only subscribed recently. Don't know why that was, but I think it was around the time you were trying to give away that sextant to the flat earthers that I subscribed. But I mean, Mr. Sensible has and everybody else that you're involved with keeps mentioning your name, so I thought, I might as well check this guy out. He seems rather interesting, more interesting than I thought. So yeah.
Yeah, I have this nice little corner of the YouTube verse, and it's all mine.
It's all yours. Well, if I do notice you're streaming, I will definitely hop in again because I quite enjoy talking crap.
And plus, I work with, I don't do a lot of public collabs, but I'll toss a lot of stuff in the background for other folks and stuff like that. So I kind of like working behind the scenes.
Yeah, same with me, Loki.
Yeah, sometimes that's more fun just watching rather than doing, and then hopping in on live streams and talking about the crap that goes on YouTube and in real life and stuff like that. It's rather fun just to shoot the shit, as they say.
Yep.
For me, it's also sometimes a video. For the rest is background stuff. What I do.
Yeah, and we have been doing a lot of stuff in the background and having a lot of laughs at the same time.
We did. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. We did.
Yeah. Well, I will say if you're shutting down, I'm going to say good night. Keep an eye on my... if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. I'll go and drop a link. I think I'll drop a link for anybody here who hasn't. And I'll say good night to everybody.
But I think I already subscribed to you, but I'm not sure.
Well,
I'll check you out.
Oh, I don't know if I'll be able to drop a link because I don't think I'm a mod.
Hold on a second. Where are you in there? Post something in chat.
There we go.
And you are now added as a moderator. Feel free to drop your link.
I thank you very much, sir. There comes my link. Please do go and subscribe. Mostly what I've been doing lately is just streaming my games because that's the only thing I really have that I'm able to stream on YouTube with. That will be changing soon, hopefully. Keep an eye out on my channel. And thank you for having me on, Loki.
Oh, anytime. Anytime. The more the merrier.
Indeed.
All right, folks out there in YouTube land, we are headed out of here.
Bye.
Bye, guys, and see you next time.